January 8th. This is the trade recap for today. This was the last trade we just took before the market closed. This is the triple Q, NQ futures, triple Q. And look what happens right here. We have a lot of upward momentum on the 5-minute time frame. 2-minute is selling off, and then the 30-minute is turning around and flipping to the upside. But regardless, we have a bunch of upward momentum. And at this very point, at this very 2-minute candle, we get a volume confluence, and we're on the right side of the momentum. So we entered the trade. We hit our profit target, and this continued to run and literally hit the second profit target as well. So that's awesome. Wonderful. It was a good trade there. And then I only took 2 other trades today. One was right here at the beginning of the market. I'm trying to trade the beginning of the market way more often. And my goal, my vision, is to trade really the first hour or 2 hours of the market and then be done for the day. That's my goal. However, I do like the end of the day. The last hour normally produces some opportunities. Normally. Okay. What happens at this yellow arrow right here? I see the momentum building to the downside. Our 5-minute twins at this point in time are aligned to the downside. That is a huge, for it to be aligned early in the market is a big thing. That's something to really take seriously. And then the higher time frames, 2 hour and the 30-minute, they had some downward bias as well. But regardless, look what happened. We had a volume confluence, and we were on the right side of the momentum, so I took the trade, and I entered the trade right here at the close of the candle. The close of this candle here, where the yellow arrow is pointing. I put my stop loss above this candle, and then I targeted a 2-to-1, and it did hit that profit right there, 2-to-1. That was a good win for the day, and I didn't trade the NASDAQ the rest of the day. And look what happened. We basically did nothing. Look at that. I mean, there was some moves in here that you could have captured, yes. And then one thing to reflect on is Trader Kane's strategy came into effect today. And what do I mean by that? Trader Kane, an extremely successful trader, professional trader, has one of the largest payouts in history. His strategy is very simple. It says if NASDAQ sells off, it has a big sell-off, he wants to wait for that price action to retrace 50% of that move. And then he enters his position hoping for a downward move 50% of this move. So here's the full sell-off. Here's 50% of that. Here's 50% of that. And this is all Trader Kane cares about, is capturing this. And look how well his strategy came into effect today. What do you know? It's like there's a reason he makes a lot of money. And I only took one more trade today, which was in NVIDIA. So right here, this yellow arrow, anytime you see yellow, that means I actually took a trade. We have downward momentum on the 5-minute chart right here. But it hadn't crossed over yet. We just had a big sell-off for the day, just like in NASDAQ. And the 5-minute MACD was now tapering to the downside. So this was a risky trade. The higher time frames were aligned, so that's giving us some backup. But the 5-minute had not crossed over yet. The histogram on the 5-minute was going with us at this time, at this entry. But it just, it's a little bit riskier because of what I just mentioned. It has not crossed over yet, but it is close and it's moving in our direction, and that's what matters. So I entered right here on this tiny candle. And when you enter on a tiny candle like that, you don't want to set your stop loss too tight, because then that doesn't make sense. It's a small candle. So I go to the last 1 or 2 candles. That's what I do. So my entry was right here at the close of this candle where we had a volume confluence. We're on the right side of the momentum. So my entry was right here. And then I put my stop loss slightly above the previous candle. See that? So again, the entry was here where this yellow arrow is pointing. because we're on the right side of the momentum. We have a volume confluence, and I see the 5-minute is now moving with us. And it never even, it was ugly. It was ugly, but I had conviction, and I took the trade because of the higher time frames going with us. So my entry was here, stop loss right above this candle here, and I targeted a 2-to-1. And look how much extra profit I got from that trade. We almost hit the final target, but this just kept going. This is way more than we hoped for. This is way more than we asked for. We only ever asked for a little bit, and sometimes the market gives us a lot. And being able to capture a lot when the market is giving a lot is what separates those who retire early from those who never get it down. And there were some other opportunities in NVIDIA today, but I didn't take any. I just took those 3 trades today. That was it. 3 trades, 3 wins. With all that being said, I'll see you in the next one. Take care now.